I'm Jessica Fields, and I'm sitting down with Tiana Clark. Now, back in January, Tiana posted on LinkedIn that she received a promotion with Microsoft as a marketing director. Now, from that post, she received an overwhelming response of best wishes and congrats. Also, she received hundreds of questions from you guys about her career path. So we're going to take some time and dive deep in that and answer some of those questions. Now, before we get started, like I said before, my name is Jessica Fields. I have about 17 years of experience as an HR professional. Currently, I'm a training and development specialist, so I do have understanding of career path development. Most importantly, I have been a dear friend of Tiana's since the 9th grade. And, you know, we won't say how long ago that was. But almost 2 decades. So it's really an honor to sit down with her today and get those questions answered. So before we dive deep, wanted to just start off. You've had a very robust career outside of Microsoft, moving forward in Microsoft. One would say it's just been very accelerated, right? So tell us more about your role and just the impact of this transition into this new role.
So first off, I just want to say thank you so much for sitting down with me, my childhood friend. This is so special for me right now. And the role that I'm in today, a very exciting opportunity. And I tell people that my role is the M365 Marketing Director for Enterprise Commercial. And people are like, what is that? What is that? So if you think about it, most companies in the world run their business on Microsoft technology, right? We are the most trusted cloud, and we have a huge responsibility to our customers. We have to continue to innovate to be able to meet their needs today and tomorrow. And so part of my role is just ensuring that when we are having these conversations with our customers, that we have the tools and the resources that we need to be able to articulate that business value for them and inspire them to leverage the many tools and technologies affordable to them to grow their business into the demands of the future.
I love that. Really positioning yourselves to be ahead of the curve. Okay, so 4 positions, 8 years. One would say that's very accelerated. So when you think about that, would you say that it's more because of your high performing work ethic, or would it be more strategic planning? Mm-hmm. And my second part to that would be, at what point in your career do you feel like it's time for that next role?
Mm-hmm. So I'm very strategic. So a lot of it is planning, and it is staying in constant preparation for the next opportunity. Mm-hmm. So I'm constantly in that mindset. I'm thinking about, what do I want to do next? What will it take to get there? Mm-hmm. And you start to notice a pattern over time. I start to notice that every 2 to 3 years,
it's a season.
It's a season. So I'm thinking, I've learned a new part of the business, I've solved a problem, I've maybe left the organization better than I found it, I've been that change agent, and I'm looking for, what is the next thing? What is my new challenge to go after?
I just want to pull out something that you said that was most impactful: to leave a place better than which you found it. I think that is so purposeful. A lot of times when we start a new role, we really focus on, how can we learn as much as we can? What can we do to become an expert? However, do we really focus on the purpose? Are we diving in to say, you know what, I want to make a difference. I want to be most impactful. We spend a lot of times at work, right? More than the people that mean the most to us, our families. So you want to make sure that it's purposeful, it's meaningful, and you're making a difference. So I think that's great. Now, next question. We mentioned we're going to get into the Q&A around LinkedIn, but I just got to point this out. I mean, not to sound cliche, but you have to be living under a rock if you have not seen all the videos that you've been posting. I mean, we're talking about thousands and thousands of views. So that tells me there's a need, and you're answering some very important questions that we want to know about. Career development path, navigating the career space, and you're giving really practical nuggets. It's not, it's very layman's terms. It's not something that we can't really resonate with. So how did you start doing this? What made you say, you know what, I'm gonna get out here, put myself out here and be a voice for this?
So I've talked before about my transition from the military into corporate America, right? There was a huge difference. So when I was in the military, the criteria for upward mobility is very black and white. It's like you do this, 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 and this, and you're promoted. So I was like, okay, check, 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 give me my stripe. And sometimes I may even get that stripe 6 months ahead of the curve. Then I get to corporate America and it's like, whoa, we do things a little bit differently around here. There is no blueprint. Wow. There is no checklist. You have to figure this thing out. And everything that I talk about in the videos are really from me figuring those things out.
Yeah.
Now, what I find is that a lot of us don't have someone that we can talk to and ask these questions of, right? We may not have other friends that are in corporate America, or maybe we just don't feel as vulnerable. We don't feel that we can be as vulnerable talking to others. And so I thought, okay, if I can take what I've learned and just put my experiences out there for people, you may not know me personally, but I can scale that to many people who may have those questions.
Absolutely.
And have no one to ask the
or
question.
just doesn't see a representation that they can relate to and understands.
That's very true.
Where they are.
That's very true. And you talked about the response from the posting, and a lot of people have mentioned things like, you are inspiring to me. I think just seeing someone that maybe looks like them, and that is a really good feeling, that I can be able to share my experiences in ways that inspire others.
Awesome. I love that. And so with that, you said you followed your own advice.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty sure there's a lot there.
Yeah.
Can you give me some key pillars, like just some key pillars of advice that you would want to share today?
Yeah. So there's a lot of things. If I had to narrow it down, I would say primarily 4 things.
Okay.
The first is confidence.
I love that.
Confidence. Having mentors and sponsors, doing excellent work, and self-advocacy.
Awesome. I love that you mentioned self-advocacy, because a lot of times we miss that. Those are opportunities for us to align our strengths with our next opportunity. And we miss that when we don't advocate for ourselves. You're worth it. And that's what I hear you saying with that.
Exactly. But you have to have the confidence to know your value, right? And for me, that has always come from knowing and reminding myself of where I've been in the past. So if I was able to do X, Y, and Z in the past, I can do X, Y, and Z
Absolutely.
now, right? And you fill in the blank whatever your X, Y, and Z is.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, you think in 6th grade, my mother was murdered, right?
Yeah.
So I know a thing or two about overcoming challenges. And when
Absolutely.
you overcome these challenges, and there have been many, many more since then, that makes you stronger. That makes you more resilient. And that gives you confidence in yourself and knowing your capabilities. I know what I'm capable of doing, and no one, including myself, will tell me otherwise.
I like that, including yourself. So
Including
that's
myself.
a mindset. That means that
Absolutely.
there's a mindset of positivity,
Yeah.
a mindset of overcoming, and it just changes how it looks.
Yeah.
Like it's the set you all those things that you've picked up along the way has made you stronger. And even though the XYZ may look different, you still have what you need
Absolutely.
to get through it.
Absolutely. And to touch on the other ones, doing excellent work definitely helps.
Yep.
because that gives you that pride, which also feeds your confidence. And then the last piece being self-advocacy, which you mentioned as well. You can do great work, you can do excellent work, you have all the confidence in the world, but if it's not bubbling up, if you don't have that visibility, if you're not intentionally advocating for yourself and no one knows about it, then
there you go. I love it. You're saying you have permission to do so. Stop, canceling yourself out.
Yes.
Right? You have permission to be your own advocate.
You do.
I love that. We can stay on this all day. All right. She also said be intentional. We can talk about this all day. But we want to get into your questions. So, are you ready?
Yes.
All right.
I'm ready.
So,
bring them on.
All right. So, our first question, and I really love this. So, it says, Tiana, you talk a lot about mentors and sponsors, and you just mentioned that as one of your pillars. How have mentor and sponsors played a role in your success? Now, before you answer that, let me just add, from what I know, there is a difference between a mentor and a sponsor.
Yes.
So in answering that question, can you also give us a little insight to the difference between the two? Because a lot of us don't know that.
Yes, let's start there actually. So mentors and sponsors different. Your mentor, you can have several mentors, right? And this is really anyone who has a level of expertise in an area that you would like to be stronger in. They can be from many different industries, different walks of life, different roles, but they're there to give you advice and give you just their experiences and their recommendations, right? So you have many, many mentors. Sponsors, a little bit different in that, yes, they can still fulfill that mentor capacity, but a sponsor has a seat at the table when those talent discussions are taking place. Right? And so they can actually raise a hand to say, I think we should give this person a little bit more attention here and be an advocate for you. Now, I've had many of both in my career from the very beginning. Even when I didn't really understand the terms, I didn't know I had mentors and sponsors, I've always had them. Again, doing excellent work is one way. Another way is you can just simply ask people. And there's a whole slew of videos that I have on that, because there's a right way to go about doing that. But at the end of the day, your sponsor may advocate for you, but no one's just going to hand you something on a silver platter, right? Yeah. So in every case, I've still had to do the work, right? So even in this role, I had to have informationals with hiring managers to see, is this a good fit? Is this a role that I would like? Is this a role that they would like me to enter or not, right? But also going through the interview process. Still have to do that.
You do. I can tell you a lot about that. Yeah,
and at Microsoft, this is like multiple interviewers, right? So it's going through that, and then, advocating for yourself if you are offered a position, you still have to do your negotiations, right?
So many times I tell our employees, your best ally are those that are leaders, above you, that have connections with other leaders and that can advocate for you. And I always say, have you had that discussion with your upline? Have you identified someone that's doing what you want to do, who has already gone where you want to go? Next question we have here. I am interested in working for a company that values diversity and inclusion. How is diversity and inclusion supported at Microsoft?
I'm really proud of where Microsoft is headed. And I want to give you all some examples because they're just really strong. They really resonate with me. So first off, I feel very empowered within the company.
That's good.
As the Blacks at Microsoft Chicago chapter senior leadership team member, I participate in a lot of diversity and inclusion activities throughout the company, but also in the community at large. And that's supported. I feel very empowered in that space. But also I think about our leadership. So we look at Chris Capicella. He's our CMO. He took his entire leadership team of executives to the Legacy Museum, Lynching Memorial in Montgomery, Alabama.
Wow.
Right? Who does that?
Who does that? They saw that as important. Wow.
To have a conversation about racism.
Yeah.
Our Microsoft US President, Kate Johnson, she got everyone in her organization, so it's Microsoft US, everyone in her organization tickets to go see the Just Mercy movie. So that's the movie.
I remember that.
Read the book by Brian Stevenson, Michael B. Jordan's in the movie. During work hours, we all went to go see that movie. I mean, popcorn and sodas, like she really pulled out all the stops. We went to the movie and then we had conversation about it afterwards, right?
Yeah, that's awesome, yeah.
Okay, and then we have deeper conversations in our own business unit. So in the unit that I'm in now with my new role, we've been having deep dive diversity and inclusion conversations. So the last conversation was on women, and this one is the African American experience in this country. So 3, 4, 90-minute deep dive sessions on that topic.
This is great.
Because you have to have the conversation. You have to be proximate to what's going on, because that helps to build empathy, really. When you know that your peer, the person that you sit next to every day, and you know, you're thinking, hey, they come to work, they're smiling, everything's okay. Well, you don't know their experience, you know, outside of the company. So I think it's important to have those conversations. But I will say, you know, no company has this all figured out. No company is fully there yet. And the reason why is because it starts at the individual level.
Yeah.
So as individuals, we have to transform. As individuals, we have to understand that we all have unique experiences, upbringings, you know, deep-rooted biases, and we have to be invested in doing that work if we want to see the full transformation. Microsoft can give us the space to do that. They can empower us to do that. They can set the tone and set the culture and role model great behaviors, the company, but the company is made up of individuals.
Yes.
And we have to do that work.
I like it. That's so good. The individuals have to take advantage of the space that's been created.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times those opportunities are missed. And what I like about what I'm hearing you say, and I'm just floored, you know, that they've taken so many steps. It's not, you know, it's one thing to be diverse. Diversity is, I hired you, you're a woman of color. Inclusion, I am willing to experience. I am willing to learn. I'm willing to partner with you to go deeper, right? We're gonna go see this movie on the clock, right? We are going to spend time because they see value in it.
Absolutely.
Value.
Absolutely. And just to add to that, even in the products that we build, we are building our products with inclusivity in mind.
I like
so
that.
Even, you know, you think about the vast group of people who are differently abled and are excluded from the workforce as a result. You start building into your products inclusive design, and now you're bringing more people into the workforce as well, right? Giving more opportunities. So, I mean, there's so many different ways. I mean, I can go on, but
and there's so many areas of diversity.
So many areas,
it's not
exactly.
just black or white,
it's
right?
So many different areas.
So, you know, I work in the healthcare industry, and we talk about inclusion around just those who are disabled, right? And so thinking of your products and how they're evolving, how it could be even making communication better for those who have barriers or challenges, right? In communicating. So that's awesome. That is awesome. All right, so our next question. So it says, it makes me really happy when I see someone from a completely different field making their way to the top of the IT field. It gives me hope that I can do the same as well. How did you do it?
Yes. So I don't have a computer science degree, but I do have confidence in myself and my abilities, and that goes back to what I mentioned earlier, where, you know, I know what I'm capable of. I have transferable skills, so I have technical aptitude. I may not have a computer science degree, but my military career was focused on intelligence and learning all of the stats and of enemy missile systems and air-to-air missiles, surface-to-air missiles, enemy aircraft. I mean, so I have technical aptitude. That's a transferable skill, right? And then, of course, having mentors and sponsors. So all of that plays a very big role in that and making that transition?
Okay. I would be remiss if I didn't go a little bit deeper here on this question, albeit after the interview, but I want to circle back to this because I do not have a computer science degree. True. I do have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. And there are many different types of roles at Microsoft, including those that are non-technical. Still, when I had an opportunity to work for Microsoft, I took the time to learn all about Microsoft technology before interviewing for the role. And what I find is that there are people who may want to work for Microsoft, but if I ask them about our cloud technology at a high level, or if I ask them about our competitors, they don't know. And so you have to do the work. You still have to do the due diligence. The internet is your friend here when it comes to that like high level knowledge. And if you are seeking a more technical role, there are people at Microsoft who do not have a formal degree, who are self-taught. But again, it's all about doing your due diligence and still doing the work. Now, back to your regularly scheduled programming.
You recognize that these skill sets were transferable. So a lot of times we have to take note, a lot of times we do things so effortlessly and we don't see the value in these skill sets and how they can transfer. So I like that you were able to identify your strengths, your opportunities, and make that alignment.
Yes.
Even though you don't have an IT degree,
Right.
but you have the skill sets that's necessary to do the job. And then you have a phenomenal work ethic, right?
Right.
So
I do think that sometimes we want a lot of certifications and degrees, and sometimes they overcompensate for that lack of confidence, right? So a lot of people will say, I'm not gonna go for this role because I think I need a litany of things first. I've gotta get this first,
Yep.
that first,
Absolutely.
right?
Yep.
And sometimes, if you want to be an engineer, if you want to be a developer, you need to go learn how to code. Absolutely,
Yes.
right? But think about, sometimes it's having that confidence and knowing that your skills are transferable.
let's see here. Now this is the last question. And this is from a Microsoft coworker.
Okay.
And so it says, I'm already tired just reading about your accomplishments. Off this job announcement, already tired reading about your accomplishments. How are you able to do so much with 4 children? I ask her this all the time, every week. Okay, so let's hear it. 4
Okay.
children. How are you able to do this?
4 children, yes, ages 3, 5, 10, and 13.
Wow.
And I'm able to do this because of my family.
Yeah.
I have an extremely supportive husband who is just like, you got this. I mean,
Yes.
whenever I do have those
Your
doubts,
champion.
he is my champion. He is reminding me that I am more than enough, and he's doing that often. Sometimes it just kind of depends, because we all have those moments, and you need to have someone who's supportive. In addition to that, my children are actually very responsible for their age and self-sufficient. So my 10 and 13-year-olds, they cook the family dinner, and they have since they were 9 and 12.
Wow.
And I don't mean like mac and cheese.
No.
And like hot dogs.
We're talking about following instructions.
We're talking about, Mommy, can you
Gourmet.
bring home some mascarpone cheese and some criminy mushrooms on the way home, And I'm like, sure, what else you need?
Need.
Like, want some chives
I love
with
this.
that? So they do a phenomenal job. I have, my aunts are some of my best friends, really, my mother's sisters, and they are so helpful. I have a cousin who is like a sister to me.
Yeah.
And last year, she said, you know what? I'm gonna fly in from Los Angeles. I want you and Royal, my husband, I want you two to just go and take a week off from everything. And I'm going to house sit, babysit, and dog sit.
Wow. That's
So
amazing.
you have
That's
have
to be cherished.
very much so. You really have to have that support system, and having friends and people I can talk to, all of that. Like I share this success that my coworker said she was getting tired just reading, I really share that with everyone. You know, I couldn't do this without that.
That is so true. You know, I know you guys have probably heard there's a African proverb that just says, you know, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go with others. And that is really an example. Yeah, when you thought it couldn't get any better, wonderful husband, kids that can cook. I gotta catch up. I got a 5 and 6 year old, and I'm just scared for them to walk past the stove. So I'm like, get out the kitchen. All right. So you've done a lot of videos. We talked about that. But where can people find your videos, guys? These are videos, just again, practical nuggets around career path navigation, how to leverage your skill sets, being a change agent. Where can they find them?
Yeah.
How can they get access?
So they're in my LinkedIn profile posts. So you can go there, and then I've also aggregated them into one place on the website, tianasclark.com.
Awesome.
So everything's in one place there, or they're also on LinkedIn.
I like that. You got access, use it. All right, now we're coming to an end. I'm actually enjoying this. However, before we go, it's not all about work related. Rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Rapid fire questions. All right, are you ready?
I don't know.
I'm telling you, there's
Nothing from 9th grade in here.
I think you pretty much swore me to secrecy.
Okay.
On that. All right. So, coffee, black or dressed up?
Black.
Black.
Yes.
Early bird or night owl?
Probably a hybrid.
Hybrid, a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
That's what it takes, guys. Favorite way to relax?
The spa.
The spa.
Like, I could just live in the spa.
All right. Guilty pleasure?
I love a good cookie.
A good cookie. Of
I mean,
course.
like, it's really hard
Of
to
course.
resist cookies. It doesn't even matter what flavor they are.
Chewy, hard.
It doesn't even matter.
Just good.
Just a good
cookies.
cookie.
All right.
Yeah.
Favorite TV show?
Ooh, this is actually, we like to unwind in the evenings late with a good TV show. So this one's hard.
Okay.
So I can't pick one.
So, 3.
Ooh, 3? I don't even like, okay. You know, I like that Watchmen. I like Watchmen. How to Get Away With. Game of Thrones, like
of
for
course.
sure. Like Game of Thrones.
Even though it's over, we can go back and rewatch it.
No, we really watch it over. And there's this new one that we're watching now, The Outsider.
Okay.
It's really like interesting.
So you like a good storyline?
I like a good storyline. I like when I have to figure things out.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like
love
the
it.
challenge.
All right. So, lastly, what are you reading right now?
There's a book, The Collapse of Parenting by Leonard Sachs. I love that book.
Highly recommend it.
Highly recommend The Collapse of Parenting. If you're a parent, you want to read that.
All right, there you have it, guys. All right, so that's it. We're done. We hope that we've answered some of your questions. Keep reaching out, keep watching. I'm sure she's gonna have more content sooner than later to share with you guys. And my friend, it's been a privilege to sit down with you and sharing your journey. Anything you wanna share with the audience?
Thank you. I will send, or I will post some additional videos. I'll keep those coming. Hopefully you will keep watching those. But if I can leave you with any advice today, it would be just going back to the conversation we had around following my own advice and those four pillars that I gave. It's really about having confidence in yourself, doing excellent work, having mentors and sponsors, and being your own best advocate. You have to take control of your career. No one is going to give you that plan. They won't do it, nor should they.
And they may not even know how to a lot of times.
They won't know how to, right? So you have to own that. And thank you so much. It's been so fun sitting with you.
We would be like giving the biggest hug right now. We're trying to
Yes, we just don't want to knock our water cups over, but
have a good one.
Thank you.